Peace, love, and light, everyone. I hope all is well. This is your girl, Serena, and I am back with another poem. This form of poetry is a narrative poem. It's really telling a story. And in my writing to wellness class, we had to write about an experience that really hit home for us, that was emotional, that directly happened to us. So, this particular class, I decided to write about my paramedic truck ride from October of 2012. So, this is Lyme Disease Awareness Month, and I decided to just go back in time and recapture some of the moments that I went through in this battle. I didn't know at the time that I had Lyme disease, and these symptoms that I was experiencing were coming from left and right field. You can ask anyone that has Lyme disease. You can actually feel wonderful the day before, get bit by a tick, and you feel like your world is crashing, literally. So this poem is called Paramedic Adventures. If you love what you hear, can't even speak today. Please feel free to like and share. You can find me on serenawills.com. That is the author, writer, and publishing coach website. Or you can go to my health and wellness coaching practice, Divine Right Wellness, and that's spelled WRYTE at divineright.com, and learn about health and wellness, my story as to how I got into health and wellness coaching, which is basically everything I went through with Lyme disease and what I had experienced being my mother's caregiver. And let's get started with this poem. The night they came to get me, flashing lights reflecting off the darkened windows of my apartment. It was 6 a.m. My heart was racing, brow was sweaty, feeling dizzy, as the blinding red lights were flashing across my stained glass vision. Yet quietly, when I called 911 and asked them to please keep the sirens off, to not scare my little baby, I heard the steps of a few coming as they knocked on my door. My beloved friend holding my son while two men were walking through my apartment. In the early morning hours, I was sitting on the edge of my bed, shaking, almost like tremors were escaping my body. Paramedics were cautious as to what to say. They greeted me and then took my pulse. "Ma'am, you don't seem to be okay." Tears were now streaming like the Jordan River down my face as my mouth quivered to answer, body shivering like it's winter, fever as hot as a day in the Sahara. "Sir, as you can see from my racing pulse, like I'm going for a win in one of my past marathons. However, I feel like I'm dying within. A living zombie of something unknown has afflicted my former runner's body. I am sick." Not knowing deep inside that this was due from a crazed tick. Breathless like a balloon that was losing air by the second. When one asked me to stand, I caught a glimpse of myself in the tall mirror. My marathon physique disappearing before my eyes. Clothes were suddenly baggy. Weight was falling off of me like shredded meat. It had been a matter of weeks that symptoms began to appear and roll in like a raging snowball, growing more and more with speed as it rolls downhill. One paramedic asked if I wanted to walk out or be carried. I glanced over at my friend and son with tears. "No, sir, I can walk." Slowly, walking through my dim-lit apartment, saying goodbye to my toddler and friend, not knowing if I would see them again. Two men helped me walk down the steps. One went to open the door. His gentle blue eyes met mine, like the pools of Bethesda. I said, "Sir, I hope death is not trying to meet me today or any time soon." Finally, getting to the paramedic truck, practically crawling up the step. Things like this used to be a breeze for me. When I finally lay down on the gurney inside the paramedic truck, I asked them to please keep the sirens off, thinking of my son as we rode to the hospital. One paramedic looked at my necklace and asked, what did it mean? I told him, this is actually a medal from one of my marathons. I ran in San Fran for the Nike Women's one, just in 2007. I was in the midst of training for Marathon 6. Then I became wickedly sick and had to drop out. They just sat quiet. I swear one was tearing up. As we got to the front of the hospital, one of them said, "You will be okay. You have a full life ahead with your son, and when you run that next marathon, come by station number 206, and we will cheer you on." They checked me into the ER and then said their goodbyes. I went on, and I was blessed by paramedics. They instilled some hope in me, believing that I will make it back home. Every time I drive by that station, I give them a salute, whether they can see me or not. You never know where your blessings will come from, even from inside a paramedic's truck. So I want to dedicate that to the EMT workers. Thank you. I salute you. I don't know where I would have been without those men. And that poem that I read, you will be able to see it in my upcoming book titled Living the Lyme Life. It is a personal memoir about my battle with Lyme disease. It will come out by the end of 2021 or early 2022, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you for spending some time with me, learning a little bit about Lyme disease, and take good and wonderful care. God bless.